Hey, Floyd here. So, are you letting AI do your homework? I mean, literally, if it's you're using AI just like you would to say Google something. You've heard that term. I'm sure everybody has. You want to figure something out? You go ahead and put it on Google. Well, AI. Well, that's another platform, and I thought it had to be coded all the way through it, but I've discovered that it's not. There's only certain portions of it that are coded. The rest of it is kind of a self development after research. So this machine's going out there going nuts. Now I've tried it on a couple of things that I was rather confident of the outcome of whatever it was I was asking the question, and it gave this humongous long drawn out identification of what it was that I wanted an answer to. Even used the conspiracy theory and all those action words or triggers, what I guess we should call them. Well, anyways, I'm just curious that because if AI is doing your homework for you, that's doing the research. And we used to, well, when I was in school, they didn't have allow us to bring any kind of a calculator, and I don't even know if there were calculators back then. As a matter of fact, we were just getting electric, don't even know what you call those, a typewriter. Electric typewriters were all the rage, but I stuck to the manual because I was fat fingering those electric, and they were blah, 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 blah. Looked like I was typing a lot, but I was just clicking a lot of buttons accidentally. Well, anyways, so what I'm referring to is if you're using AI to do your homework, consider the idea that if you're using a calculator, if these kids are using calculators that they take to school, you've discovered that they really don't know simple math. They may have all those wild math classes under some sort of a caption, but just simple math. When you go to a store and you buy something, can they count the money back to you, your change? I know most people use a debit card, but in the event that there's not a debit card and they're paying you cash, shouldn't they be able to count back the amount that's back owed to you? They haven't even been taught that. I try it every time I go into a store and I give them cash and the person just wants it. Well, the machine told me it was this much, and just plop it in my hand without counting it out. I said, you risk the chance of giving me too many ones or maybe an extra 5 or 10 when we're doing a transaction if you don't count it out in my hand. So we're both looking at it as you count up to the total of the bill that I gave you. Those that know how to do that understand what I'm talking about. But anyways, this AI thing, I think we're blowing it a little bit out of proportion. You're giving it so many different responsibilities. And what I discovered when I was asking these questions was that it had apparently did a background check on me. So it knows what I like, what I don't like, yada yada. Maybe it even knows what I want to hear, or think it knows what I want to hear. Because there's some things in that, a documentary that it printed out for an answer. There were some things in there that sounded rather familiar, with maybe even like they've seen my website, and that's entirely possible with this AI. What takes us quite a great deal of time to go over, say, 40 hours worth of work, it's going probably 40 years worth of information, clumping that all together and trying to give you an answer that you can understand. I just think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves with this AI thing. As a matter of fact, you may know this gentleman is Mike Rowe. He's from Dirty Jobs. I know he's famous for that. He's also got scholarships and stuff, so you younger guys should really consider looking up Mike and get on board with that, because there's a lot of money, because we got to train a lot of people in the U.S. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Back to the AI. Now that the amount of data that is bringing in is just phenomenal, and of course you figure if it's for one question is going 40 years of research to give me an answer. Just think of all that data it has collected, and now you're going to have all these data centers. People are talking about that's going to kill our water because it gets hot, it needs to be cooled and so forth. I think we got the wrong idea about the cooling system of these data places. It's like a radiator in your car. You didn't lose the water when you were using it for heat. It just was used to pull heat away from whatever it is you wanted to cool down. And it's recirculating, and it's a sealed circulation. They don't have a river stuck on the side of the building that they're blowing all of this water through and carrying all that heat out to the sea. It's, from what I understand, and I'm not an expert on this deal, but I have listened to some experts, and that's what they were talking about. And it's a sealed system. Yes, it's going to require water to cool it down, but it's not going to ruin all your water in all your neighborhoods. It's not going to, well, to start with, let's just look at it this way. Water is a molecule that's on this planet in abundance, and it's the same water. It's just been used, filtered, turned into a vapor, turned into a cloud, blah, blah. It's all the same water. That's why the water levels are not necessarily going anywhere as far as the, oh my God, we're going to be underwater, which we could be. I don't know about this climate thing, but I do know that in the 70 years I've been on this earth, the water is about the same level when I go down to the beach. That same rock is at the same level of water. So, because that's the water that we have. It's either going to be in a different form or a different location, but it's the same water. That's why in a couple of my other videos I said if you drink a glass of water, chances are that water's been in your house before, because it probably didn't go a long ways just because it went to this, almost said sewage, water treatment plant that for your city. That stuff's coming right back to you. Yeah. That's why don't put your pharmaceutical drugs or illegal drugs in the toilet, because they're going to end up in your water, and there's nothing harder to get out of water than pharmaceutical drugs. It's all of this water has got some sort of pharmaceutical crap in it, and that's just the way it's going to be, unless you can figure out a way to strip it out of the water. Now let's face it, these water treatment plants only have so much time that they can screw around to get that water back to you. They don't have to chemically treat it to get it back into your house and make sure it's safe, but it's still going to be polluted and probably taste nasty, so you might want to filter that. But that's for another discussion. Anyways, we're talking about AI, and I hope you had this maybe made you question a few things. And please like and share and join my channel.